Hello everyone. In this lesson we'll look at adding customers and vendors to a brand new company file. Um, this will be an alternative method from using the centers. So if you go to company and then bulk enter business details, we basically get a tabular view of the people we do business with. So I'm going to quickly add all of the customers and vendors using this method. I'll choose add, and then I'm going to choose this paste from Excel or enter manually, and then continue. And I'm going to add 3 customers and 3 vendors. And the data is in my PDF if you want to use that data. You can just use anybody's name. It doesn't matter. They don't actually really exist. Marjorie Jansen is my first one. I'm just going to copy and paste to make this a little quicker. Notice the phone numbers don't get formatted. And I'm going to add David Cooper. And maybe actually quicker just to type it, and James Walker. I'm just tabbing from field to field there. 604, 795. If you want the spaces in your phone number, you have to add them yourself. And then I'm going to add a couple of, I'll just click down here, a couple of vendors. Now I'm going to be adding balances, so there's a little button that you have to be careful that you don't miss, otherwise you'll have to, basically the quickest way to fix a lack of a balance is just to delete the customer and vendor and start again. But let me just show you that when I get to it. It's quite important that you don't miss it, and it's easy to miss. That is, if you don't want to have to recreate these customers with their balances, customers and vendors with their balances. These aren't real phone numbers, by the way. You can call them up if you like. I'm not sure what'll happen, if anybody will pick up. All right. So there's my 3 customers and 3 vendors. I'll choose continue. And this is easy to miss. If you want to add the balances, again, this is a company that's just started their second year, or basically they've been using a different accounting system previous to this year. And Marjorie Jensen. Just getting her balance here. Again, you can add whatever numbers you like. This is into real balance. And basically what happens for customers is that sales invoice gets created for this date and this amount. So if you make a mistake here, you can always find that invoice and then change it there once you've already added it. So this is again my date arrangement is day, month, year. So that will be whatever your system is. It is a little fiddly. James Walker. On November 29th. Again, this data is in the PDF that I'll share in the link of this video as well as on my website. If you want to use the exact data, again, it's not important. And once I add all of this information, I'll show you where you go if you need to change any of it. Again, an invoice just gets created for the customers, a bill for the vendors. And finally, BC Hydro. Again, this is, I'm in Canada, so this is Canadian data, but it shouldn't affect too much, regardless of where in the world you are. And continue. And continue. And it shows me the data. 3 customers, 3 vendors. So I'm just going to finish with this. Again, if you need to get the screen back, it's under Company and Bulk Enter Business Details. Again, an alternative method to using the centers. So let me just show you where those, how we can modify those entries that we made. I'll just look at the customers here. So there's the 3 customers. There's the balances. If I look at transactions all, again, this is way back in 2016, so it won't show up for this fiscal year. There's an invoice that was created for that balance. If I double click on it, if you need to change it, you can change the date, the amount, or anything about it there, and then just quickly save it, right? Mine was fine, so I don't need to. And on the vendor side, of course, there's a bill. I'm just going to quickly add some inventory and some accounts. So I'll add a couple of bank accounts. So chart of accounts. Here's the chart of accounts list. I'll just add a new account. And this is a bank account. Gives you a little description about what a bank account is, and you can read more there if you're not sure about what a bank account is. And Royal Bank Checking. Again, this is not a real account. You can. And now we have this enter opening balance. So much like creating a balance for a customer or vendor, there will be an entry created in the account register, not the, of course, not in the customer center or vendor center. So this is 8937.54, and that was on the 31st of December in the previous year. And you can change this anytime. And I'll create a new one, save a new. That's fine. In real life, you probably want to investigate if it's that far in the past. And opening balance again. I'll show you where that goes in a minute. $3,548.75, and this is again on at the end of the previous year. You can double check your date, make sure your day and month is the correct order. It's obvious here, but if it's, for example, the 5th of May, or sorry, I guess the 5th of June. And I choose Save and Close. And I'll just say yes. Again. And in real life, you definitely want to hook into a real bank account. So you would say yes and then choose your bank account. I'm not going to do that because that would require hooking into a real account. So if you want to see the actual entry that was created, you can just double click on the account. You can also look at the general journal entry, but if I double click on that account, you'll see I get an account register. There's the transaction that was added. If I need to change anything about it, I can change the date there. I can change the amount there. If I want to actually look at the entry, you can double click on the deposit. And you can change it here as well, either place, and then save. Again, if you made a mistake in the previous step, that's how you would fix it. I'm just going to change my view so I have only one window in front of me at a time. That gives me a second X, so it makes it a little easier to close and save. So if I choose view, I'm going to use a top icon bar and one window. And if I look at my open window list, that allows me to switch between my windows. There we go. So I'm just going to quickly add, actually this is a good point to leave off. The next video will be adding inventory items. Thanks so much for watching.